Storyboards for a director are really the salvation to the director. It's the time that the director takes to really visualize what he's going to shoot once he gets on set.
You would be stunned by how many directors I've worked with who have never used storyboards before. Directors who've worked in the business for years and years and years who have never used storyboards. And they always ask me, well, what is the process? What is the process for doing storyboards? How do you like to work? And it always comes as quite a shock, like you've never used storyboards? I mean, people storyboard everything, don't they? I mean, and the truth is they don't. They don't. A lot of directors have learned how, and become comfortable in their own skin as a director, and that they don't have to worry about, you know, certain angles or certain setups or a certain tone or feel. They know how to achieve those things because they've achieved those things all their lives.
Now, when you get on set, things are going to change. But if you visualized it before you get there, it gives you a lot more freedom once you're on set. But storyboards really are the visualization of what this film is going to look like in pre-production, down to the angles, what kind of lenses you're going to use, what kind of camera movement you're going to accomplish to really create the emotion that you want to create in the film that you're creating.
It basically, the storyboards for Big Game helped me understand kind of the feeling, the tone, the type of look that they were going after, especially with kind of the type of lenses that they wanted to use. Because the way they're drawn, they draw them for a certain type of millimeter of a lens. And there's sometimes where you'll get a vision of a director that you can't accomplish. You can draw it, but you can't shoot it with an actual lens. What the storyboards allowed me to do is to understand kind of the feeling and the emotion that they were trying to achieve, and then it also allowed me to make sure that I have the right type of equipment in my arsenal to be able to accomplish the shots that were in the storyboards.
With Big Game, we pretty much storyboarded just about every frame of the film. We wanted to really visualize every bit of it, so that, you know, we made sure that when we were in the editing room, we had everything.
Whenever you're doing storyboards, it's always important to understand why you're storyboarding something. It's very, very often we'll storyboard things that have stunts involved with them, so that we can make those, we can showcase what we want the stunt to look like and the camera angles that we're going to shoot this stunt from to the stunt coordinator, and he can then say, well, this is where I can put a pad, or this is where, can we cut here, or can we move the camera slightly so that I can make this safe for my stuntman. Or it might be, another common one is for anything that has visual effects attached to it. Something that in post-production you're going to add computer-generated images, or some animation, or maybe even a computer-generated character into the footage after post-production. Well, you got to know what that footage is going to look like. You got to know what to go capture so that they can marry that with the post-production visual effects. So it's a good idea to storyboard those things, because now you're going to be talking to the visual effects and showing them what you want the final film to look like.
So Fletch and I spent many hours boarding. I think initially I, as a director, did thumbnails and created these thumbnail, you know, you just about need a translator to figure out exactly what they are, because I'm not an artist. Made the shots even better. Made some of the sequences even better. Some of the stuff we kept, some of the ideas we kept, some of them we got rid of and went with some different ideas. But by the director doing it first, it gets the vision out there, so that the storyboard artist can in turn magnify that vision and make the film even better.
But the process from that point, once they have the scenes that they're going to go do, the storyboard artist will go and draw up the scenes, panel by panel, you know, a lot like a comic book. Just do it panel by panel, showing camera movement, showing character movement, showing all the cuts and the angles, and you put it together with text and with the script and with the images, and you come back and here's the final product. And And if it's right, and if it's something that the director likes, it can be published to the rest of the crew. And now the crew has not just a blueprint on text of what they're going to be capturing, but they have a visual of what they're going to be capturing on film. Storyboards are a great way, they're a great tool to get your head around what you want this sequence to turn out like before you've ever shot it. And as you do storyboards and you work with them more and more, you start to find yourself being able to, in your mind, you're cutting the scenes together. You can see it flow. It's like reading a comic book, a lot like reading a comic book. You can see these shots and the angles and how they're flowing. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to work. This shot, you know, we've broken the 180-degree rule here. You can get around a lot of problems. You're gonna smoke out a lot of problems in the film by doing storyboards, you know, months before.